One of the more interesting developments to take place in broadcast news this year came down just a couple of weeks ago when NPR fired one of its correspondents, Juan Williams, and then Fox News picked him up later that same week. He was guesting with Bill O'Reilly, and they got into a conversation about air travel, and Juan Williams made the statement that when he boards a plane, it makes him uncomfortable if he sees others on it who are dressed up in the full Muslim regalia. You know, the headscarf and just the whole thing. Well, this comment from him made NPR uncomfortable to the point where they let him go. They fired him the very next day for that. So much for diversity of thought. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I actually take great pleasure in all this. I'm very happy about these developments, but not because you think. I'm happy because it reveals in a much more graphic fashion than anything I could ever say. It reveals NPR for what they really are. And that is not the champions of diversity of thought that they would have you to believe, but they are rather, in fact, an organization that really does broadcast from a specific point of view, and they expect their staff to cater to that point of view, and when they don't, well, you've just seen what happens. None of this I have any problem with, by the way. I'm okay with all that. The problem that I have lies in saying that you stand for one thing when in fact you actually stand for the opposite. More about that here in just a minute. Fox brought him on later that same week, and as I understand, handed him a contract that has him making at least 2 times and maybe even 3 times what he was making over at NPR anyway. So Mr. Williams came out of that just fine. But the real result of this is that it reveals Fox for really being what they say they are, and that is the real champions of diversity of thought, who stand for presenting the news in a fair and balanced perspective that lets the viewer decide. Mr. Williams routinely comes in with points of view that lie left of center. Bill O'Reilly comes in with points of view that could lie anywhere on the spectrum depending on the issue. But overall, his addition to the staff does expand the diversity of thought on Fox News and continues their ongoing mission of being fair and balanced. And for all those of you who do not like Fox News, I want you to know something. I get it. Fair and balanced is not for everybody. And there are people out there who really do want their information presented from a specific point of view to cater to their own. That's fine. That's what the free market's all about. The problem that I have with NPR is the way they always talk about how they stand for diversity. And yet they don't. When it comes right down to it, they're coming from a one-sided point of view. And when you say you stand for something and in fact stand for something else, I find that to be inconsistent at best, disingenuous at worst, and even if you split the difference, it doesn't leave you in a very good light. But then again, what do I know anyway? Let the people decide. But from the ratings of both, it looks like they pretty much have decided anyway, doesn't it? Steve out.